We would like to welcome everyone out here from Olympus High School. We are getting ready and started for this meet, Olympus Titans versus the West Panthers. My name is Sean Stringham with Game On Live Studio. Thanks for joining us here. We've got just a few minutes. I think we're going to have the national anthem here shortly. Until that time, I'll leave you here bumping to the music, but we'll be back. To welcome everyone out here tonight. Again, we'd like to welcome everyone out here tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, from Olympus High School. My name's Sean Stringham with Game On Live Studio. We are here and will be here for all of the Olympus Titans home meets as they embark on their journey to hopefully repeat as both men's and women's state champions for 2022. We're lined up here for the women's 200-yard medley relay. In the women's medley 200 relay, in lane 2, Olympus, Ellie Robinson, Ken McDonald, Kara Iverson, and Lily K. Jones. In lane 3 from Olympus, Elizabeth Etherington, Penelope Knight, Haley Christiansen, Eliza Arbiseth. In lane 4 from West, Caroline Cooper, Angela Roberts, Madeline Brenman, and Molly Johnson. In lane 5 from Olympus, Taylor Hooten, Madeline Moran, Colleen McWilliams, Malia Matsumori. Lane 6 from West, Eileen Basala, YouTube Choi, Katie Kim, Sierra Gordon. And in lane 7 from Olympus, Naomi Thompson, Megan Stringham, Ruby Pope, and Bree Petty. They are out and autumn here. Quick up out of the water in lane number 5. That's Taylor Hooten for the Titans. Taylor being chased down by Caroline Cooper. In goes Madeline Moran for the Titans, being chased there by Angela Roberts. Fight for third place in lane number 3. That's Elizabeth Etherington coming through. Madeline Moran comes through in lane number 5. Turns the time over to Colleen McWilliams to do the butterfly. Chasing her, Madeline Brennan from West. Coming in the water next is going to be Olympus's Haley Christiansen. And then simultaneously, Kara Iverson and Katie Kim from West. Megan Stringham finishing up the breaststroke here for the women's D relay, sending Ruby Pope into the water for butterfly. And there's a nice finish by Colleen, sending out Malaya Martzamore. Malaya being chased down by Molly Johnson from West, but she's going to have this with a half a pool lead. Malaya Matsumory comes in lane number 5 in a time of 1:52 flat. Coming up next, West in lane number 2 will finish, lane number 4 will finish second with a time of 1:57.73. Coming in third place will be in lane 3 with a time of 2:08.22. That's Eliza Arbaseth finishing that up. And then in lane number 6 with West, Sierra Gordon will come in a time of 2:15 flat. Coming in, not to be forgotten, Bree Petty finishing up here in lane number 7, and will send us into heat number 2, the men's 200-yard medley relay. In lane 2, Olympus, Jaden Courtney, Lycan Swetson, William Bagley, and Brandon Barnes. Lane 3, Will de la Garza, Luke Garstang, Colin de la Garza, Owen Hartman. In lane 4 from West, Domingo Contreras, Tyler Skeen, Jan Dvorsky, and Richard G. In lane number 5 from Olympus, Ian Connor, Bridger Sink, Alexander Turney, Matt Quackenbush. In lane 6 from West, Henry Kuwara, Avery Jones, Shaden Williams, and Carlos Pena. And in lane 7 from Olympus, Jackson Gilbert, Abe Astle, Miles Moran, and Kai Johnson. These athletes are up and at 'em. Lanes 5 and 3 for Olympus coming in first and second, followed by the West swimmer Domingo Contreras. That's Will de la Garza and Ian Connor. In lane number 5, that turns over to Bridger Sink and Luke Garstang for Olympus in 3. Coming through the West athlete is Tyler Skeen in for the breaststroke. After that, we've got Olympus and lanes 2 and 7, the C and D relays for Olympus. Turning over here time in Olympus A in lane number 5 to Alex Turney. Congrats to Alex for recently committing to swim for the University of Texas. Alex coming forward with that fly, turns that time over to Matt Quackenbush. In lane number 3, Owen Hartman going into the water. Matt Quackenbush finishing up here in lane number 7. Kai Johnson finishing it up for the D relay, and Brandon Barnes. Kai coming in here on Brandon as we finish. Coming for the touch. Let's see who's going to get that, 2 or 7. It's going to be just a few seconds. But Olympus wins that event with a time of 1:39.48. Congratulations to our medley relay swimmers. Coming up next, is the women's 200-yard freestyle. In lane 1 of this 8-length race, Kendall McDonald. Lane 2, Eliza Harding. Hardin. Lane 3, Campbell Keller from Olympus. Lane 4, Molly Johnson from West. Lane 5, Kaya Lawson from Olympus. Lane 6, Lorena Thompson from West. Lane 7, Desiree Kitt from Olympus. And in lane 8, from West, Natalie Kleinman. Athletes are cleanly into the water, and a quick lead here in lane number 5 by Kaya Lawson, followed closely by Campbell Keller in lane number 3. Extending that lead, Kaya Lawson getting through, and Kaya and Campbell. Campbell about a body length behind here. Then coming up next here in lane number 7, Desiree Kitt coming up on the West swimmer Molly Johnson in lane 4. Desiree and Molly go over together. Kaya still extending that lead, still has about a body length lead on Campbell Keller in lane number 3. Don't forget about lane number 1, Kendall McDonald going within space to jump up here to Desiree Kitt. But right at the moment, Olympus has the 1 and 2 position. Desiree Kitt threatening to take that 3rd position. Molly Johnson from West hanging in there with a 50 to go here at the intermediate split, a 130 and a 131 for Kaya and Campbell. Campbell closing some of that gap, just up onto, let's call it 3/4 of a body length here, but Kaya is going to go under the flags here and swim away with the time of 2:01.31, followed closely in lane number 3 by Campbell Keller with a time of 2:02.37. Congratulations to those swimmers. Hanging on for 3rd place in lane number 4 at a time of 2:14.79. Molly Johnson from West finishes that up. 4th position will go to Desiree in lane number 7. And 5th position with a time of 2:22.60 will go to McKenna McDonald. To wrap it up, we've got our final swimmer in the water here coming in. That is Eliza Hardin from West, freshman from West. Coming up next will be event number 4, the men's 200-yard freestyle. In lane 1, Kai Johnson. In lane 2, Dominic Gavilio. Lane 3, Matt Quackenbush. Lane 4, Jan Jaworski. Lane 5, Evan Van Brocklin. Lane 6, Kai Gurton. Lane 7, Tim Snow. And in lane 8, Amaroy Ramirez. They are off. We should expect a great race here. Entry times ranging for West for 1:46. And 1:48 for Evan Van Brocklin. So we will have ourselves a race here in the middle of the pool for sure. Evan Van Brocklin, who recently announced commitment to go and swim for the University of Utah here. Hometown boy does good. Going to go swim for the Utes. Congratulations to Evan. Coming into the 4th length of this 8-length race, Evan holding a half a body length lead. And then coming up after that is Jan, and then followed by Matt Quackenbush. These athletes will all be within a second of each other, between 50 and 52 seconds. Evan Van Brocklin turning on some jets here, creating some separation, extends that lead to a body length underneath the flags. Of the 150 mark is going at 117.59. Jan's not going to give up though, makes up some time off that turn. Evan breathing to that side, has him in his sights. Matt Van Brocklin, Matt Quackenbush falling off the pace here a little bit. Jan coming in here, looking to snipe one here from Evan, breathing away from Jan. Evan's gonna hold on underneath the flags and go 144.20, followed closely 0.3 of a second, 0.4 of a second behind with a time of 144.59 is Jan Jaworski from West. Great swim between those two athletes. Quackenbush comes in third at a time of 149.73. All these athletes improving on their entry times. Fourth position will go to lane one, with a time of 2:02, Kai Johnson. And in fifth place in lane six with a time of 2:02.93 will go to Kai Gurton. Battle of the Kais on that one. Congratulations, athletes. All right, coming up next is the women's 200-yard IM, event number 5. In lane 1, Penelope Knight. Lane 2, Henrik Poser. Lane 3, Malia Matsumori. Lane 4, Angela Roberts. Lane 5, Colleen McWilliams. Lane 6, Madeline Brennan. And in lane 7, Addie James. Just waiting for an athlete to get back there behind the blocks, give it a fair start. They're on the blocks, or close to it here. Addie getting a little love from her teammates there. And the 200-yard IM is underway. 2 lengths of the pool of each discipline: butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. Let me know how things are going out there in the chat. Angles and sound all good. Would love to have any feedback. Let us know where you're watching from. Are you at work just watching, doing the email and watching the meet? Love to know where you're watching from. Off into backstroke. This is Colleen McWilliams. Colleen putting down a lead here of about a body and length and a half through the butterfly and backstroke. Off the wall will come through Malia Matsumori from Olympus. Will be chasing here for chasing Colleen. Colleen is senior, one of our senior athletes here at Olympus. After Colleen and Malia, the 2 West swimmers. In lanes 4 and 6, that's Angela Roberts and Madeline Brennan. Going stroke for stroke, off into breaststroke here. Colleen extending that lead. The West swimmers coming down, creating a little advantage here in lane number 4 is Angela Roberts. Roberts closing that gap between Malia. Colleen extending that, going back underneath the flags here into her 4th and final discipline of freestyle. Always a relief, intermediate split of 138.83 for Colleen. The West swimmers have closed that gap down. Angela and Malia are going to come into that wall within a half a second of each other, and they are off to sprint here for second place. West, this is Angela Roberts coming up on Malia, overtaking her underneath the flags. It's going to come down to this final 25. Who has the early season chops to make that? Colleen will wrap that up with a time of 2:08.78. And Angela Roberts making up the difference here. Looking over at Malia, goes underneath the flags, and in comes the time in lane number 4, 2:22.63 will go to Angela Roberts, and Malia will go 2:23.01. In 4th place with the time of 2:26.41. That's going to go to Madeline Brennan from West. That'll wrap up the women's 200-yard IM. Up next is the men's 200-yard IM. In lane number 2, Isaac Wardle. Lane 3, Miles Moran. Lane 4, Tyler Skeen. Lane 5, Bridger Sink. Lane 6, Rico Contreras. And in lane number 7, Abe Astle. Up and at him, out of that water. Bridger Sink breaks that water, the surface of that water first with a head lead off that wall. Comes into the second 25 of Butterfly. Bridger's competition here is coming from the near side, the far side of the pool from the camera angle. That's Abe Astle in lane number 7, overtaking Rico Contreras on that backstroke turn. And then 2 Olympus athletes, Isaac Wardle and Miles Moran, in lanes 2 and 3, going stroke for stroke into the second length of the 50-yard backstroke here. Bridger extending that lead. Abe's saying, don't go too far, I'm coming with you. They go underneath the flags together, coming into the wall. Abe might have a lead coming in here. He does, 58.95 to 59.3 on that halfway intermediate split off to the breaststroke. Bridger Sink is a breaststroke specialist, so you should expect to see some action and fireworks here. The Miles Moran, Isaac Wardle coming up on the west swimmer in third place, Tyler Skeen. Bridger extending to a body length lead as he comes in front of the table here. Abe Astle looking, and it's going to come down to this last 50. Bridger puts 2 seconds into him on that breaststroke in a 50. And here comes Isaac Wardle and Miles Moran looking for the sweep here for Olympus. That is Miles Moran that's off the wall first. Wardle's right on his toes and has overpassed Tyler Skeen from west. Has overpassed Rico Contreras from west. As they come through, Bridger will go time of 201.7, followed by Abe, time of 203.82. We'll wait for third place, but it looks like that's going to go to Miles Moran in third with a time of 212.75, followed by Isaac Wardle, 214.54. Up next, we have the women's 50-yard freestyle. Women's 50-yard freestyle has 4 heats. In heat number 1, lane 2, Yo-Lee Choi. Lane 3, Stella Bradley. Abigail Yanez in lane 4, all from west from Olympus. Taya Ruby in 5, and Melanie Zamora in lane 6 from west. Looks like we have no start here for Abigail, but our other athletes are off in the water and ready to go. Off quick on this one is Stella Bradley. Nope, scratch that. That's Yo-Lee Choi being followed by Stella. Yo-Lee Choi in lane number 2, closest to the camera there. Coming up behind her, Taya. Between the 3, we'll go 1, 2, 3. Yo-Lee, Stella, and Taya. Good swim there, under 30, 29.26 for Yo-Lee Choi. Coming up next, heat number 2. In lane number 1, Amanda Moss. Lane 2, Tanya Yu. Lane 3, Bree Petty. Lane 4, Annie Benton. Lane 5, Naomi Thompson. Lane 6, Mariah Alanez. Lane 7, Izzy Wobbling. And in lane 8 is Yaxin Zhu, excuse me. No start for Maria Alanez in lane 6, but otherwise the pool is full. Off and at him here in lane number 7, off the breakout, Izzy Waldbilling comes through. Underneath the flag, fighting underneath the wave, and it looks like off that turn, Bree Petty. Nope, Tanya Yu coming through here. Tanya will come in a time of 31.06, followed closely behind by Izzy in lane number 7, the time of 31.51. Up next, heat number 3 of the women's 50-yard freestyle. In lane 1, Clara Jorgensen. Lane 2, Isabella Morales. Lane 3, Ellie Robinson. Lane 4, Eliza Harden. Lane 5, Ruby Pope. Lane 6, Tixa Hamlin. Lane 7, Megan Stringham. And in lane 8, Stein Jurgensen. They are off. This is the third of 4 heats in the women's 50-yard freestyle. Quick out of the water there is Ruby Pope in lane 5. Being followed by Ellie and Megan. Ruby makes a good turn. The Olympus swimmers coming through here that will go in the order of Ruby, Ellie, Megan, and Clara in lane 1. Coming up after that will be Tixa from West. They finish. Ruby goes a time of 29.42, getting it under 30 seconds. Great job, swimmers. First meet of the season here for most of these athletes, getting good, solid times, getting a sense of where they are in the season. Up next, heat number 4 in lane 1, Kara Iverson. Lane 2, Jacqueline Castron. Lane 3, Elizabeth Etherington. Lane 4, Aileen Balsa. Lane 5, Eliza Arbiseth. Lane 6, Sierra Gordon. Lane 7, Haley Christiansen. And in lane 8, Jacqueline Aurelio. Up and at 'em here in our 4th and final heat. Dead heat coming across. Let's see who throws the feet first. It's going to be pretty even there in lanes 4 and 5. Aileen Balsala and Eliza Arbiseth with West and Olympus. But off of the turn, Eliza Arbiseth puts a stamp on it. Coming from the outside, lane number 7, Haley Christiansen wants a piece of that podium and comes in. We're going to go lane 5, Eliza Arbiseth with a time of 27.94. In lane number 4, in second place, Aileen Balsala goes 28.68. And in lane number 6, Sierra Gordon from West goes 29.09. Great work by all athletes. Up next, we will have the men's, event number 8, the men's 50-yard freestyle. There are 4 heats. In lane 3, Jaden Courtney. Lane 2, Talmadge Ennis. And in lane 5, Henry Kuahara. Jaden Courtney explodes off that block, comes into the turn, heading back the other direction. Jaden makes some coverage there on that turn, coming underneath the flags. Following Jaden is going to be Henry and Talmadge, but Jaden's going to take this in a time of 24.59. Followed by Henry with a time of 27.95, and under 30, 29.71 in lane 3 for Talmadge Ennis. Up number 2, heat number 2, excuse me. Jason Martinez in 2, Logan Ashton in 3, William Tran in 4, William Bagley in 5, Tanuj Chabuka in 6, and Tim Snow in 7. We're going to have 4 Olympus swimmers here. Lanes 2, 3, 5, and 6, 7 coming through. It looks like it's going to be lane number 5, Will Bagley, taking dubs here in heat number 2 with a time of 24.79. Then 26.98 for Tim Snow. In lane number 2, 27.23 for Logan Ashton and 27.58. Excuse me, lane Jason Martinez goes 27.23. Logan Ashton 27.58. Congratulations. Up next, heat number 3. In lane 1, Lakin Swenson. Lane 2, Lebaldo Plancarte. Lane 3, Brandon Barnes. Lane 4, Zishan Zhang. Lane 5, Luke Garstein. Lane 6, Carlos Pena. Lane 7, Carlin de la Garza. And in lane 8, Scott Wentworth. Heat number 3 of the men's 50-yard freestyle underway. Quickly off the blocks is Carlos Pena, is Luke Garstang and Colin de la Garza in lanes 5 and 7. Don't forget about Brandon Barnes in lane number 3. He's going to come here. Olympus will go 1, 2, 3, 4 in this third heat. Great swim there in lane number 5 by all of our athletes, but Luke Garstang will take that with a time of 23.91. Coming up next, heat number 4 in lane 1, Jackson Gilbert. Lane 2, Mongju Cho. Lane 3, Ian Connor. Lane 4, Domingo Contreras. Lane 5, Ethan Astle. Lane 6, Richard G. Lane 7, Owen Hartman. And in lane 8, Shaden Williams. The 4th and final heat. Bunch of churn. It's going to be a fight to get underneath that wave, get up out underneath the flags, find that clean water. It's going to be Ethan Astle. And then for second, we've got Domingo Contreras and Ian Connor going head-to-head. It's going to be Ethan going 21.90, and then shout out to Domingo Contreras, 22.77, followed in lane 3 by Ian Connor in 3rd place with a time of 22.89, rounding out the 4th and final heat of the men's 50-yard freestyle. As per usual, we will take a 10-minute break here before we break into heat number 9, event number 9, the women's 100-yard butterfly. We'll be back. My name's Sean String with Game On Live Studio. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back in 10 minutes. All right, we're back here. Start of the second half of the meet. Women's event number 9, the women's 100-yard butterfly. In lane 1, Eliza Arbiseth. Lane 2, Katie Kim. Lane 3, Malia Matsumori. Lane 4, Caroline Cooper. Lane 5, Madeline Moran. Lane 6, Madeline Brennan. And lane 7, Haley Christiansen. Four lengths of the pool butterfly, and Madeline Moran takes the intermediate split of 29.01, followed closely in lane number 4 by Caroline Cooper from West. In third place, Malia Matsumori. Swimmers drawing even here in the fourth length of the pool. Madeline Moran hanging on, going underneath. Should have this one with a half a body length. Goes a time of 101.49. Followed in lane 4 in a time of 102.10. Coming up next, the men's 100-yard butterfly. Lane 2, Jason Martinez. Lane 2, 3, Ian Connor. Lane 4, Roy Ramirez. Lane 5, Alex Turney. And lane 6, Will De La Garza. Turney coming through, leading a pack of Titans here. Ian Connor in lane 3. Will De La Garza in 6. Jason Martinez in 2. Alex Turney comes underneath the flags. Goes a time of 53.83. In lane number 3, Ian Connor goes 55.33. And in lane number 6, in third place with a time of 56.16, is Will De La Garza. Martinez goes 103. Jason Martinez and Roy Ramirez from West goes 105.63. Up next, Taya Ruby in lane number 2 of the event number 11, the women's 100-yard freestyle. We've got 3 heats. In lane 3, Izzy Wildbilling. In lane 4, Amanda Moss. Lane 5, Addie James. And in lane 6, Bree Petty from Olympus. They're off for, again, heat number 1 of 3 of the women's 100-yard freestyle. Good fair start. These 4 athletes moving their way down the first 25 of 4 of the 100-yard freestyle. Coming off the wall is going to be lane number 3, Taya Rudy, being chased here by Amanda Moss. All of these athletes are representing Olympus here this afternoon at the intermediate split, 34.09. Making some headway here, Amanda Moss and Taya Rudy come underneath the flags on their third 25 together. Amanda with a little bit of an advantage going over on the turn first. Finish there comes to lane number 5, Addie James. time of 1:11.91. Followed in lane number 3. I called that wrong the entire time. That was Izzy that I was calling in lane number 3. My fault, Izzy. She goes a time of 1:12.49. Coming up next, heat number 2. In lane 1, Clara Jorgensen. Lane 2, Annie Benton. Lane 3, Isabel Jones. Lane 4, Isabella Morales. Lane 5, Naomi Thompson. Lane 6, Tikva Hamlin. Lane 7, Ruby Pope. And in lane 8, Aileen Balassa. Right here in front of the table, that is Aileen Balassa coming through here in lane number 8. She's being chased down by Ruby Pope. That's going to be a good race here for the second 50. Stella, Aileen Balassa coming through here with a half a body length, maybe 3/4 of body length lead over Ruby here in lanes 8 and 7. Gonna have a great finish here on the outside lane. One of my favorites. 104.56, 106.64 for Ruby. Aileen goes 104. In lane number 3 is third place, 109.47 goes out to Izzy Jones. In lane 1 at the time of 1:14.48, Clara Jorgensen. Congratulations to all of our swimmers finishing up here. Up next, heat number 3 of the 100-yard freestyle. For the women, in lane 1, Ellie Robinson. Lane 2, Jacqueline Castellon. Lane 3, Taylor Wooten. Lane 4, Kalina Manova. Lane 5, Kaya Lawson. Lane 6, Sierra Gordon. Lane 7, Lily K. Jones. And in lane 8, Stella Bradley. Over first, Kaya Lawson in 5, followed by Taylor Hooten. In third place, Kalina Manova from West. Kalina and Taylor gonna have a duel here for second coming in. Kaya Lawson extending that lead. Fantastic turn by Taylor. Puts a body length on the Kalina Manova. Coming in fourth through the length here is Sierra Gordon for West. And then a duel here in lane 7 and 8 between Lily Kate Jones and Stella Bradley. Here comes Kaya Lawson underneath the flags for her fourth 25 in this 100-yard, who will take the win with a time of 55.97. Followed by Taylor Hooten with a time of 58.06. Third place will go to lane number 6, Sierra Gordon from West, with a time of 105.21. Great swim there by our females here. Up next, we have heat number 12, the men's 100-yard freestyle. In lane 4, Isaac Wardle. In lane 5, Ethan Woodbury. We have 3 heats. A duel here between Isaac and Ethan. Both looking for times. They're just going to spend some time as his teammates drafting off each other. Isaac goes over the wall. Ethan going stroke for stroke with him on that first. Shortens up here a little bit. Isaac lengthening. Isaac's going to come off that turn. Intermediate split of 27.61. Isaac comes into his fourth 25. In a time of 56.19. Ethan coming underneath the flags here. In a time of 104.30. Congratulations to both swimmers. Up next, heat number 2 of 3 in the men's 100-yard freestyle. Lane 1, Will Bagley. Lane 2, Zichen Zhang. Lane 3, Logan Ashton. Lane 4, Will Tran. Lane 5, Jackson Gilbert. Lane 6, Kai Gerton. Lane 7, Jaden Courtney. And in lane 8, Ubaldo Plancarte. They are up and at 'em, and Jaden Courtney surfaces first. Rolling through all of these athletes, except for a couple. Entered at no time, so this is the first event they've swam here, or the first time they swam this event. Coming through here, Kai Gerton's gonna had something to say about Jaden getting off to that quick start. They go over the walls together, just 0.4 of a second separating them. Jaden hanging onto the hip here of Kai Gerton. Followed after Jaden is lane at number 5, Jackson Gilbert. Comes down to a pure sprint here, coming off the wall. Kai extending that. Jaden working to get back into the race here. Off the turn, Jackson Gilbert coming in third, being chased down by him is Logan Ashton on the next lane. Kai will go 55 flat. Jaden 55.83. Up next in lane number 5, that's Jackson Gilbert going 101.48 to round out the top 3. And in lane number 3 in 4th place with a time of 102.74 is Logan Ashton. Coming up next in heat 3, in lane 1, Owen Hartman. Lane 2, Carlos Pena. Lane 3, Brandon Barnes. Lane 4, Shaden Williams. Lane 5, Ethan Astle. Lane 6, Dominic Gavilio. Lane 7, Luke Garstang. And in lane 8, Scott Wentworth. They are off, ready to go. Ethan Astle off the wall first, up that first turn. Garstang looking to attack from lane 7. Shaden Williams keeping it close here. Williams and Brandon Barnes in lane 3 and 4 will be the race to watch. We can add Luke Garstang into that mix in 7. Don't forget lane 1, Owen Hartman here. These athletes coming through. Astle swimming away with it here, though. Coming past the table is going to be Garstang in 2nd. As it flies here, Shaden Williams should hold on to 3 unless Owen Hartman finishes from the outside. No, it's going to be first in the time of 48.69. Ethan Astle in 2nd, 53.02 is going to be Luke Garstang. 3rd place, 54.83, Shaden Williams. And in 4th place on the outside, 55.29 in lane number 1, Owen Hartman. Up next is the event number 13, the women's 500-yard freestyle. 20 lengths of the pool, or distance event here for our high school season. In lane number 2, Lily Kate Jones. Lane 3, Campbell Keller. Lane 4, Caroline Cooper. Lane 5, Colleen McWilliams. Lane 6, Jakeline Aureliano. And lane 7, Isabel Jones. Colleen takes that first split of 28.85. See what she holds here as she looks to beat her own school record set in 2019. I believe that's 5:07.70. Her entry time is 5:02.38. So we will look on the school as the for her to continue to better that throughout the season. Coming off the wall of that 100 is Campbell Keller chasing as well. Entry time of 5:27.55. And then in 3rd place, Caroline Cooper from West make out the top 3 Dueling here in 4th position in lanes 2 and 7. That's Lily Kate Jones and Izzy Jones. Colleen McWilliams going through the 2:03.35 at the 200. Gonna hit halfway here on this next split. We'll call that out. Our athletes continuing through in that similar order. Campbell Keller in 2nd, Caroline Cooper. And then on the outsides, 2 and 7, the Joneses coming through. Colleen goes 2:34.99. Campbell comes through halfway at 2:43.94. In lane number 4, Caroline Cooper from West goes 2:52.81 at the halfway point. Colleen McWilliams comes through at 3:07.26 with 8 lengths to go. At 3:50, Colleen is at 3:39.49. We'll do a split check here for Campbell. Campbell comes through at 3:52.07. Our West swimmer in lane number 4, Caroline Cooper, should come through next. She does indeed at a time of 4:05.77. A single 50 remaining here for Colleen. 4:11.80. No, scratch that, sorry. She's got 100 to go. That was a 400 split. So she's at 75 remaining here for Colleen. Bell comes here. The time of 4:42.71. Colleen turns on the jets to bring it home here. Campbell Keller coming up halfway on her 18th length. Has 2 to go after this. Colleen McWilliams going to finish this first 500 of the season with a time of 5:13.45. Well done by Colleen. Campbell Keller goes 5:34.50 on her first event, first 500 swim of the season. Coming in here will be Caroline Cooper. Caroline goes 5:54, keeping it under 6. High fives all around by both those. Great sportsmanship. Looks like we've got a 50 to go for Lily Kate and Izzy. Izzy here in lane 7 in 4th position. Just has to hang on for a 50 here. Getting the ever joyful 2 red squares from her counter. Izzy's going to get some good points here for the team. Lily Kate will be behind her in 5th position. With Jacqueline Arellano from West wrapping up our 500 for the women. Coming up next, event number 14, the men's 500-yard freestyle in lane 2. We got one more 50, excuse me, for Jacqueline. Okay, up next, we have the men's 500-yard freestyle in lane 2, Abe Astle. Lane 3, Miles Moran. Line 4, Jan Jaworski. Lane 5, Matt Quackenbush. And in lane 6, Colin De La Garza. This should be full of fireworks. Jan going to look to hold off these athletes from Olympus. Just 5 seconds between the entry times of Jan at 4:42 and Matt Quackenbush at 4:47. Matt Quackenbush can use Jan as a rabbit here and see how he hangs on at this early season 500. Jan and Matt Quackenbush. Matt sitting on his hip. Happy to surf the wave. Coming through Colin in lane number 6, Colin De La Garza. Leading with Miles and Abe coming together there on the near side camera of lanes 2 and 3. Jan comes through on the 150 at 123, followed by Quackenbush at 124.39. Matt Quackenbush taking a move, bringing it back up to even here. As they go through 200, they're going to both be 153.61 for Jan and 0.66 for Quackenbush. Tom Thorham giving Quackenbush some power from this near side. Likes what he's seeing, wants him to stay with him. Abe, Miles, and Colin all swimming like in a pack here, coming through. Just 1/10 of a second. Hanging in there between Jan and Quack. .223 for both of them at the halfway mark with 10 to go. Fun to watch, getting closer to 1/100ths of a second with Matt Quackenbush in the lead here in lane number 5, 2:53. at the 300. Jan not liking much of that. Puts another, let's call it quarter of a body length in. Quackenbush working to come off that turn. Get back up into it. At the 350, 3:23.62 for Jan, 3:24.18 for Quackenbush. Hanging in there. Going through here for the 400 comes Jan and Matt Quackenbush. Matt Quackenbush playing a little yo-yo here, falling behind, bringing it back. Helping to have him breathing towards Jan on the way back at the 400, 3:53.46 for Jan, 3:53.71 for Quackenbush. Quackenbush starting to turn it on here. Matt Quackenbush has a 75 to go. With pure pain, let it burn. Matt Quackenbush, Jan Jaworski laying it down. Both of these athletes on the bell lap. Jan's put a second here into Quackenbush. Quackenbush working, swimming, breathing away. Has a chance if he can bring the 25 of his life here. Jan puts let's call it two body lengths into him in the last 75. Swims away underneath the flags, and it's going to go for 49.14. Quackenbush finishes up at 4:52.56. Dueling in 4th and 5th place in lanes 3 and 6 is Colin De La Garza and Miles Moran. It's a great swim there by Abe Astle, going 5:11.31. 5:19s 00 for Miles, and Colin goes 5:19.33. To wrap up our men's 500-yard freestyle. Coming up next is event number 15, the women's 200-yard freestyle relay. In lane 1 from Olympus, Jones, Rudy, Jorgensen, Moss. In lane 2 from West, Aurelio, Yu, Hardin, Germanoff. In lane 3 from Olympus, Keller, Etherington, McDonald, Kit. In lane 4 from West, Gordon, Manova, Kim, Thompson. Lane 5 from Olympus, Lawson, Matsumori, Arbaseth, Moran. Lane 6 from West, Poser, Choi, Castajeon, and Bradley. Lane 7 from Olympus, Iverson, Stringham, James, Waldbilling. And in lane 8 from West, Hamlin, Morales, Jurgensen, and Benton. They are underway here for this 200-yard freestyle relay. Each swimmer is swimming a 50 freestyle as fast as they can. Up and at 'em here in lane number 5 is the team from Olympus. That's Kaya Lawson being chased down by Campbell Keller. They make the clean exchange between Malia Matsumori and Elizabeth Etherington. Into the water for West is Kalina Manova. Coming through in 4th place in lane number 7, Megan Stringham doing the work after taking the trade from Kara Iverson. Third swimmer into the water, Eliza Arbaseth for Olympus in lane 5. Cannon McDonald in lane 3. Being chased down here from West, Katie Kim closing some of that gap between lanes 3 and 4, but Eliza Arbaseth extending that lead. Cannon McDonald protecting it in lane number 3. Our 4th and final swimmer in lane number 5, Madeline Moran, goes in, followed by Desiree Kitt for Olympus in lane 3 and Lorena Thompson for West in lane 4. Dueling here for 4th place is the team from Olympus, Izzy Waldbilling in the water and Annie Benton. Excuse me, that's Stella Bradley for West in the water in lane number 6. Making it a race. It's going to be a good one. Olympus comes in first with a time of 1:48.57. Followed the B relay in second with 1:54.09. West comes in at 1:56.76. And touching for fourth, the Olympus C relay with a time of 2:06.23. Great swim there by the ladies. Up next, here comes the men's 200-yard freestyle relay, event number 16. Our second relay of the day. In lane number 2 from Olympus, Johnson, Swenson, Courtney, Wardle. In lane 3, Quackenbush, Hartman, Gilbert, Barnes. In lane 5 from Olympus, Van Brocklin, Assel, Sink, and Turney. Lane 6 from West, Skeen, Gavialiano, Ramirez, and Pena. And in lane 7, Snow, Martinez, Woodbury, and Ashton. They're off and rolling. This should be some explosive swimming across the pool. Quick and Adam is none other than Evan Van Brocklin, University of Utah commit, swimming for the Utes next year. Creating a wave big enough to surf on, comes underneath the flags. Going to turn that over to Ethan Astle. It's going to be a race here for second. Hartman and Richard for Olympus. Richard takes some time in lane number 4, being chased down by Owen Hartman. Here comes Ethan Astle, though. Ethan Astle going to turn the work over to Bridger Sink. Lanes 2 and 3, both Olympus swimmers. Jackson Gilbert, Jaden Courtney going for it. Extending the lead here in lane number 5, Bridger Sink. Kai Gurton doing his best to stay in. Jackson Gilbert puts a half a body length into Jaden Courtney. But here comes the fourth and final swimmer in the water is Alex Turney in lane number 5. Cruising to a victory here. It's going to be a time of 1:29.79 for the A relay. West A's team in lane number 4 coming in next. They are going to go 1:37. Then Olympus B in 3 and Olympus C in 2 will go 1:39.9 and 1:42.3. Great swim, fast swimming for all athletes there. Well done. Up next, event number 17, the women's 100-yard backstroke. Penelope Knight in 1, Natalie Germanoff in 2, Desiree Kitt in 3, Molly Johnson in 4, Taylor Hooten in 5, Kalina Manova in 6, Elizabeth Etherington in 7, and Natalie Kleinman in 8. I may have said breaststroke, this is the backstroke. Event 17, 100-yard backstroke. The women are off. Nice starts across the board. Up first and out in for in lane number 5. We have Taylor Hooten from Olympus coming through cleanly on her first turn. Nice underwater here, coming up just in front of the booth, about halfway. And then dueling for second here is Penelope and Desiree, Penelope Knight and Desiree Kitt. Taylor Hooten again with a nice 12.5-yard underwater. Comes through, comes underneath the flags. Taylor has a half a length lead over her nearest competitor, but the duel for second is going to come down to it here. We've got two Olympus athletes, Poppy Knight in lane 1, Desiree Kitt in 3, and then Molly Johnson from West in 4. Olympus athletes coming through. Taylor goes 1:00.07, has a look of disbelief, wishing she were under that 00 for sure. With the throw and a kick, 1:10.95 for Molly Johnson from West, 1:11.58 for third place to Penelope Knight, and 1:11.61 to Desiree Kitt in lane number 3. Great swim. Up next, event number 18, the men's 100-yard backstroke. In lane 2, Ethan Woodbury. Lane 3, Evan Van Brocklin. Lane 4, Domingo Contreras. Lane 5, Will de la Garza. Lane 6, Rico Contreras, and in lane 7, Kai Johnson. The men's feet are set, and we're ready to go here for event number 18, the 100-yard backstroke. They are up and at 'em. In lane number 3, first to break the surface of the water, Evan Van Brocklin, followed in lane 5 by Will de la Garza. Will making some progress there, bringing it to within a head length. They will be 0.6 of a second separating them on the turn. Will putting a challenge down to Evan. He's going to need to look to the right here. In third place, Domingo Contreras. Evan, ever the racer, sees it, has a half a body length lead now going into the fourth and final length. Evan looking to put a time up on the board for the first time in this high school season, goes 54.13. Will goes 54.94, followed by Domingo Contreras in lane number 4 in third place with a time of 57.89. Lane 4 with 104, place 4 in lane 7 with a time of 104.86. Kai Johnson, nice job, Kai. Coming up next, event number 19. The women's 100-yard breaststroke. In lane 1, Megan Stringham. Lane 2, Henrique Poser. Lane 3, Kenna McDonald. Lane 4, Angela Roberts. Lane 5, Madeline Moran. Lane 6, Yoli Choi. Lane 7, Kara Iverson. And lane 8, Tanya Yu. Quick out here for Madeline Moran. Madeline being chased by Angela Roberts of West. Coming through on this first 50 with a time of 32.11. Madeline extending that lead. Madeline Moran with a body length and a half on this fourth 25 of the 100-yard breaststroke. Someone stepped on the pad. We'll have to get a backup time on that. Lane 4 goes 112.31. I'm not sure that Madeline went, the scoreboard says 49.98, but I believe that's just a timer stepping forward and knocking that pad down. Otherwise, we'd be celebrating some sort of record for sure. Comes through here. Up next, heat number 20, men's 100-yard breaststroke. In lane 1, Henry Kuahara. Lane 2, Avery Jones. Lane 3, Bridger Sink. Lane 4, Tyler Skeen. Lane 5, Alex Turney. Lane 6, Richard G. And in lane 7, Lakin Swenson. This will be a duel between Bridger and Alex for King of the Lanes. These two have traded state and school records back and forth. Olympus is deep in the breaststroke. Bridger takes the turn at 28.0. Alex coming in at 28.29. Alex extending forward. Bridger sink. Working to get into it here on this third 25. Hit that wall together. Alex and Bridger. Alex with, let's call it a quarter body length lead coming underneath the flags here. Bridger looking to come up next to him. Alex is going to go a time of 59.03. Whew. Bridger goes 59.12. Both these athletes have gone as fast as 57 low. Alex going 55.6. Bridger sink going an entry time of 57.09. Expect great things out of that duel as we continue to go through the winter swim season here. Coming up next, our last event of the afternoon here. Event number 21 is the women's 400-yard freestyle relay. Each swimmer will swim 100 yards. In lane 1 from Olympus, Jones, Jorgensen, Petty, Wallbilling. Lane 2 from West, Germanov, Kleinman, Morales, Arellano. Lane 3 from Olympus, Knight, Pope, Kitt, Christensen. Lane 4 from West, Cooper, Johnson, Brennan, Roberts. Lane 5 from Olympus, Keller, Hooten, Lawson, McWilliams. Lane 6, West, Palasa, Thompson, Manova, Castellon. And in lane 7 from Olympus, Jones, Robinson, Thompson, and James. Coming off the first 25, puts Campbell Keller with a half a second lead coming into the wall. 4/10, let's call it. And then a nice duel developing here in between the B relays. Olympus in lane 3, that's Penelope Knight swimming against Aileen Balasa. But Keller and Cooper just still going for it here. They'll trade off. Into the water for West is Molly Johnson. Taylor Hooten for Olympus. Taylor puts a half a body length on in the first half length. Taylor Hooten comes over the wall, snapping that turn and going back, trying to fight the momentum of the water coming through that. Punches through that and creating a current going the other way. Taylor Hooten coming underneath the flags now. Extending a lead there in lane number 3, Ruby Pope into third place for the Olympus B relay. Ruby Pope hanging on there. In lane 5, Taylor Hooten has extended that lead by, let's call it 2.5, maybe 3 body lengths. Coming in for the relay exchange is Kaya Lawson. Lawson heads out, being chased now by Madeline Brennan. Coming into the wall here underneath the flags is Pope from Olympus. She's going to turn it over to Desiree Kitt. And coming in 4th place in lane 6 is Kalina Manova into the water, off through the exchange from Lorena Thompson. Kaya Lawson extending it by maybe, let's call it another body length for Olympus. Desiree Kitt makes the turn, heads out into the 3rd position. Kaya Lawson coming in, turning it over to Colleen McWilliams. McWilliams has a clean start, looking to put a stamp on it here. The A relay time for Olympus is 3:41.454. In the water for Olympus in lane number 3 is Desiree Kitt, turning it over to Haley Christiansen. Christiansen explodes off the block. Colleen McWilliams coming through here, still holding off West's Angela Roberts. Colleen McWilliams coming up to lap her B relay here, hanging on. She hangs on, but Colleen goes A relay goes 3:47.75. Still have some time to get down underneath that 3:41 spot, but a good first effort and our first home dual meet. West goes 3:58.36 on a strong finish from Angela Roberts. Coming in third position in lane number 3, Haley Christiansen. The B relay goes 4:21.15. We'll bring all of our swimmers in here. In fourth position in lane number 6, the team from West goes 4:36.53. And that'll wrap up. We got one group of West team still coming in here in lane number 2. That's Jacqueline Arellano. Okay, coming up next, event number 22, our final event of the afternoon, 400-yard freestyle relay. In lane 2 from Olympus, Wardle, Snow, Ashton, Bagley. Lane 3 from Olympus, Moran, De La Garza, Astle, Garstang. Lane 4 from West, Dvorsky, Williams, Contreras. In lane 5 from Olympus, Connor, De La Garza, Van Brocklin, and Astle. And in lane 6 from West, Cho, Gurton, Kuahara, and Ramirez. They are up and at 'em. This is going to be a good race here. In lane 4 and 5, West, Jan Dvorsky going against Ian Connor for this lead relay. Each of these athletes swimming 100 yards freestyle. Jan puts 0.2 of a second in on the relay here. West holding in third position as well here in lane number 6 with Mungyo Cho. Jan coming through. Turning the duties over to Shaden Williams. Miles Moran's gonna, Ian Connor's gonna give it over to Will De La Garza. De La Garza smooth coming through there, evening it up. Olympus B and C relay in lanes 3 and 2, going stroke for stroke. De La Garza in the middle here, trying to hang on, working to hang on against Shaden. De La Garza extending there, beautiful turn, putting 3/4 of body length in over the West athlete coming in. Will De La Garza is going to turn it over to Evan Van Brocklin. Always a comforting feeling, but Domingo Contreras says, I've raced before with you, my friend, Mr. Van Brocklin. I'm coming for you, and Evan is off. And Domingo Contreras comes after him. West B relay in lane 6. Turns from Kai Gurton to Henry Kuahara. Here comes Evan. Puts down 4 body lengths here in the first 50. Domingo chasing that down. In third position now, Abe Astle from Olympus in lane number 3 coming through. Abe has another 50 to turn that before he turns that over. Evan Van Brocklin is going to come underneath the flags and give the anchor duties over to Ethan Astle. Ethan sends his huge 6'4" frame off that block, and West's Rico Contreras coming after him. In third position, lane number 3, Abe Astle turning over to Luke Garstang. Garstang throws it off the block. Ethan Astle extending that lead for the A-team for Olympus. Ethan Astle is going to cruise to a dub here. And look at that, in lane number 2, Luke Garstang's overtaken the West A-team. Olympus will go 1-2 in the men's 400-yard freestyle relay. Nope, scratch that. He still has a 50 to go. My bad on that one. West Panthers will take 3:28.13. Olympus A-team will go 3:19.42. And there, in lane 3, the Olympus B team will go 3:37.66. All right, I think we are all in here. Congratulations. Thank you for joining us here for our first dual meet. Next Thursday, we'll have broadcast again live from Olympus High School for Olympus versus East. That stream is posted and live out there. We'd love to have you. We'll be back. It's not our only meet of the day here at Olympus. We'll be back for the club meet this afternoon, or this evening, starting at 6:30. My name's Sean Stringham with Game On Live Studio. And on behalf of the Olympus Titans, thanks for joining us. We will be back. Peace.